What's up guys, I'm James from Moondragon Protocol, and in today's video we're going to be covering Moondragon and Quasar from Marvel Crisis Protocol that were revealed in the most recent panel to play by Atomic Mass Games. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first character we're going to be covering is Moondragon, or Heather Douglas. She is a 3-threat on a 50mm base with a medium move. She has 3/3/4 defense with 6 health on both sides of her card, and she's also size 2. She has flight, and she is a gem bearer for the Mind Gem. Moondragon is basically a cosmic magic user, and that's represented in a couple different ways on her card. The first being Psionic Barrage, which is a range 3 4-dice mystic gainer with a wild rapid fire. Her second attack is going to be Dragon of the Moon, which is a range 2 mystic 7-dice spender that costs 3 power. This attack specifically allows you to add skull results in the defender's roll to this attack's total successes, which is pretty good and allows her to get just a little bit more damage on this spender. On this, it also has a wild hex trigger, which is always going to be a great thing to throw on the defender. Moondragon also comes with a pretty standard 2-cost charge that allows her to do a move action followed by an attack action of her choice. All right, now let's take a look at her reactive superpowers. The first being Distracting Illusions. For 1 power, when an enemy character within range 3 makes an attack during the modified dice step, this character may use this superpower. And this character rerolls one of the attacker's dice, and this superpower can only be used once per turn. So basically, this is Amazing Spider-Man's witty banter, or a lesser version of Crimson Dynamo's ability that can do the same thing. And finally, she has Shield Mind, which is a 2-cost reactive superpower. When this character or another allied character within range 4 would be advanced, placed, or pushed by the effect of a mystic attack or enemy superpower, this character may use this superpower, and that character is not advanced, placed, or pushed. And Moondragon's innate superpower, Shaolong Martial Artist, allows her to add blanks whenever she's being targeted by an attack within range 2. Any type of attack, doesn't matter what type it is, and allows her to add blanks as long as they are within range 2. Moondragon is the exact same front and back. There's no changes to her attack tree whatsoever or her stat line at all. She's basically just the exact same on the flip. But also, don't forget, she is still a gem bearer for the Mind Gem. And just to reiterate what the Mind Gem does, it increases obviously her threat value to 4 and gives her an additional power in the power phase. But it also, for 2 power, allows her to choose an enemy character within range 3 and advance them short. And they can use that once per turn. So ultimately, this is a great potential for her. I think there's a lot of validity to potentially running her with the gem just for the additional power, not even necessarily for the Mind Gem, but even still to get charge online round 1, which is still a great strategy in itself. Okay, now that we've talked about Moondragon, let's dive into Quasar. So Quasar is a 4-threat, 3/4/4, 7 health on the front, 6 health on the back character. She's going to be on a 35mm base with a medium move, and she's also size 2 with flight, and also has the immunities to poison and stun. Quasar's attack suite is energy focused, which is really cool to see on a kit, especially because of her first attack, Quantum Sword, which is a range 2 5-dice builder with a wild pierce. Seeing an energy builder with Pierce is very cool to see that on an attack profile, to be able to have some more versatility within the Guardians of the Galaxy. With how cool Quantum Sword might be, Nega Quantum Blast Wave, the spender, is even more exciting. So this is a beam 3, 8-dice, cost 5 energy beam, and it has a wild incinerate as well as a wild pierce. This is a great spender, maybe potentially 1.2 expensive in my opinion, but it still is a fantastic spender that could really wreck some shop, especially with the combination of either Star-Lord or even Adam Warlock as a leader. Just like Moondragon, Quasar also has a 2-cost charge, which allows her to do a move action followed by an attack action of her choice. The other superpower she has on our kit is going to be Quantum Bands. For 2 power, choose an enemy character within range 2, roll 4 dice, and the chosen character loses power equal to the number of offensive results, so crits, wilds, and hits, If the chosen character would lose more power than it has, it suffers 1 wound for each power it could not lose. And then the chosen character does not gain power for those wounds, and this can be used once per turn. This is very similar, if not exactly similar, to Rogue's power sap ability that she has mutant absorption, if I'm not mistaken, on her card. So if you want to look at something that is comparable. And last but not least, we have the 2 reactive superpowers for Quasar. The first being Force Field. For 2 power, when this character is targeted by a physical or energy attack, you may add 2 dice to their defense roll against that attack. Finally, she has Kree Titan Hybrid Physiology. For 1 power, when this character suffers wounds from an enemy effect, after the effect is resolved, it may use this superpower. The character removes 1 wound or 1 special condition from itself, and it can only be used once per turn. So obviously she has to survive the attack, and then she could remove a wound or take a condition off of herself, which is pretty cool to see. It's really similar in some ways to Apocalypse's ability to do that, to where he heals up after he's taken an effect. However, this costs her 1 power to do that. So Moondragon and Quasar are both medium move chargers, which is pretty cool to see that similarity between the two, which also kind of lends itself to the fact that they're both a couple in comics, and it kind of plays itself on the table in that way. Also allows you to get those characters into the action faster and more in your opponent's face on a more regular basis, especially whenever you can utilize distracting illusions to reroll attacking dice, which makes Moondragon a little bit more defensive. And then on top of that, Moondragon can use Shield Mine to stop you from moving herself or moving Quasar away from the action. And then on the flip of that, Quasar has the ability to add defense dice to herself or use a power absorbing ability, Quantum Bands, to sap the power from your enemy and make them take wounds. So there's this really cool, unique synergy between the two of them that will make it for a very unique situation on the table in itself. Within this box, there are also going to be 2 additional team tactics cards that we have not covered in previous videos. The first is going to be the Douglas family. So this card works for Drax or Moondragon, and during their activation, one or both of those characters may spend any number of power to play this card. And if 4 or more power was spent to play this card, choose an enemy character. And if Drax is on the battlefield, put a vengeance token on or move an existing vengeance token to the chosen enemy character. Then Drax may advance medium toward that character. Additionally, if Moondragon is on the battlefield, she may make a psionic barrage attack targeting the chosen character. When Moondragon attacks the chosen character this turn, she adds skull results in the chosen character's defense roll to her total successes. This is a very interesting card because whenever you pay the 4 power, you get to move up Drax and put a vengeance token, which is fantastic in general, right? You really want to get Drax in the mix of things. But on top of that, Moondragon gets to make a free attack. But then if you read it, her ability to be able to add skull results to the chosen character's defense roll and her total successes lasts for the entire turn. So, which is really interesting. So then if you're activating Moondragon, you play this card, you get a free attack. The next 2 attacks, you still get to add skull results in the chosen character's defense roll to her total successes. It's a great combination. I think this card will be played a lot, especially if you are running Moondragon and obviously Drax together at the same time. But even still, I think you could probably make use of this with just Moondragon by herself using 4 power. And the last Team Tactics card is going to be Power Couple. So during the power phase, Heather Douglas and Phyla Vell, which is Moondragon and Quasar, may each spend 1 power to play this card. In this round, while within range 2 of each other, Heather Douglas and Phyla Vell cannot be advanced, thrown, or placed by enemy effects and reduce the cost of their reactive and active superpowers by 1 to a minimum of 1. So that means while they're within 2, Moondragon can use Charge or Shield Mine for only 1 power, and then Quasar can use her Quantum Bands for 1 power, or Force Field, or Charge for 1 power. It's insane, and I think for just the small amount of power investment, 1 each essentially, they are able to really utilize that and put it to great use. Even in round 2, I think would be a great time to put this card to use if you set it up properly to be able to have a great alpha strike at the beginning of the round, kind of going into your opponents. So there you go. That is Moondragon and Quasar, 2 newest Guardians of the Galaxy coming to Marvel Crisis Protocol from Atomic Mass Games. Are you excited about these 2 characters? How do you feel about them? What affiliations do you want to see these characters be in and be represented within the game itself. Are you excited to see them on the table? Are you thinking about playing them? You know, for me personally, I'm excited to see another Guardians of the Galaxy character on a 50mm base with a medium move. I think both Moondragon and Quasar will see a bunch of play in Guardians of the Galaxy, but specifically Moondragon being a 3 threat on a 50mm base with a medium move and a charge. There's a lot of different things about that make that character specifically shine in Guardians of the Galaxy. So we're excited to see them on the table. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. And if you did, please like the video, comment below. And if you want to see more content just like this or future battle reports that we have coming down the pipeline, subscribe to the channel so you do not miss out. Well, I'm James from Midwest Protocol. Now it's time to get back to gaming.